Reflection, week 3, devising. We started off the week by focusing on some of the workshops we had done in the previous week, and we wanted to develop these into a possible scene. In the week prior, we had made a few little things, but we had one scene in particular that we really liked, which was a character building workshop we'd done, where everybody was split up into groups of 2 and they would make up a character and a scene on the spot, and neither of the 2 would know what character they were going to make, but they would just work with it and make the scene. And everybody really enjoyed this. I led this exercise. We then got everybody back together and sat 4 people facing away from each other in a square, and they all just had to make a scene on the spot. This worked really well because everybody got to pick one of the characters that they had made in the previous workshop and just make a scene out of it, and it ended up working out as a like news anchor scene where they were all news anchors, and they were all just making up stories in different accents and everything. It worked really well, and that's how we got one of our main scenes, which we are going to be using for our final piece, which is our new scene where we interview our lead character. That worked really well. We then moved on to making a few more scenes from that, and we actually decided that from the dancing play we would go into bullying, because there was all the different stages of the dancing plague, which we thought, oh, we can do the stages of bullying. And from that, we've at the moment arrived at a point where we want to follow down the bullying route, but maybe down a murder. But we haven't fully thought that idea yet, so we're not too sure. But we all thought that was a really good place to go. We've spent most of the previous week just working on those scenes and developing them. And we haven't got a storyboard yet, but we've got a rough idea of where we want to go with it. All in all, it was a pretty successful week for actually developing some scenes, because we have a much better understanding of where we want to go now, as before we were a little bit lost and we didn't really know where we were going, and focus was a little bit down in the previous week. But this week everybody's pulled together and we've really created some strong material, which we think will make our final piece strong and very moving.